We arrive in Uruguay. Let's see how those people live their lives. And first of all, as always, we're going to look at some data to have some context. And then the main event of the video, we're going to look exactly how those people actually live with Google Street View and 360 and whatever we can find there. Now, before we start, I have memberships now on the channel. So if you want to support it, you can do it now. So be much appreciated. Now, let's go in the video. As you can see here, clearly a South American country. Population first. 3.3 million people living in this place. We're going to see the growing rate was at some point, the population have their peak. Now pretty much even the growing rate, as you can see, they are bouncing up and down, and by judging by this curve right here, probably it's going to go down again. But look at this. In 1955, the population was around 2.3 million with 1.2% growing rate. That would be like roughly 26,000 people with 3,600 migrants arriving in a country. Median age around 27 years old. Fertility rate 2.76, which is actually pretty nice to see. Even back in 1955, the Uruguay have a manageable, not like other countries that just go wild, have a manageable fertility rate, a manageable population, which it is very much appreciated, I have to say. Urban population back then around 80%. And fast forward now to 2025, you can see the population grew just around 1 million people, which is not exactly bad, I would say, because look at this, the population, I would say somehow stable. Look at this data. So now they're around 3.3 million people. Now they're going down in population at minus 0.06. There will be like minus 2,000 people around that. Migrants, now on the minus 1,300 migrants around that. Median age around 36, 37 years old. Fertility rate now obviously got below replacement. It's 1.4. And the urban population most likely by 2023 was around 99.7. Now it's pretty much 100%. But look at this, migration was pretty much from almost entire recent history on minus. So that's just tell you that the things are not exactly going well there, even though they have a decent management, I would say, of population, which you don't see that in many countries. But look at this projection for 2050, the population gonna still pretty much stay stable, I would say, at 3.2 million people. Population change around minus 0.3%, and that would be like minus 10,000 people. Migration still on minus 1,000, and median age now is 45 years old, and fertility at 1.4. So much more aligned, let's say, with the Western world. And urban population increase is going to be 100% still. Life expectancy here, it's around 78 years old for both sexes. Females around 82, males 75, which is pretty healthy, I would say. Infant mortality rate 5.8, and death under age of 5 6.8. Clearly the medical system needs some improvements. They're better than other countries, but those numbers are double than I would like to see them. So yeah, they have a lot to improve in that department. As you can see here, that's pretty much the flag. I'm gonna pretty much go in population and demographics, as you can see, as pretty much any other country so far. They have a male surplus in population here by the age of 40, around that, and then they go in a female surplus population. As you can see here, the pyramid, it's getting a narrow and narrow base, so that's going to show probably in the future, by the end of the century, population, they're going to shrink quite a lot. Economy in this country, well, a bit interesting, I have to say. Look at this, GDP nominal, it's around 80 billion US dollar, which is not that much, I have to say, but again, keep in mind that not that many people in this place anyway. PPP around 130 US billion. GDP growth, they have here 0.7 for 2023, then they have 3.1, 2.8, 2.6 projection for 2025, even for 2025, 2.8, and projection for 2026 around 2.6. Not much, I have to say. Those numbers should be at least, I would say, for a decent, healthy country. That small of the population and that small of the GDP should go above 10% if things are actually going very well there, I would say. But at least a 5%, which in my opinion, they don't hit that target, as you can see here. GDP per capita, now nominal, 22,000 US dollars. It's not exactly that bad, I have to say. And PPP around 37. We see them worst. We're going to see exactly how those numbers are going to translate. But first, like I said, we add some context, some numbers. GDP by sector, agriculture 6.2, which is pretty high. Industry 24, and services 70. Usually we find, so far that I can see, in a very developed economy, the agriculture doesn't represent that well of the sector in economy. So usually that around 1 or 2%. Industry, pretty much they move it to China. And services, yeah, they have like 80% or even higher than 90% in services. You should be able to do pretty much okay. Inflation, 3.4% almost, which you can see doesn't even cover by the growing rate. So clearly things are not going that well. Another thing that I didn't, let's say, like it that much, as you can see here, July 2023 unemployment rate 7.8, which is absolutely huge unemployment rate. If you go in that, everything above 5, it's a lot. If you go close to 10%, good luck with that. One thing that I really like about, look at this, corruption index is very low. It's one of the lowest corruption index in the world. As you can see here, they just are on the 13th position ranking with 76 points, and they got 5 points plus. They're doing very well there with corruption. I am interested to see how those people actually live in a low corrupt country. That will be, again, I have some huge expectation. I don't understand with that low corruption how the economy doesn't do that well, but again, there are other factors too, but it's gonna interesting to see. Just a bit of history, as you can didn't know, Uruguay is pretty much independent and staying stable from 1828, at least with the borders, as you can see from this map. Clearly, look at this here, Spanish colony, I would say at some point, Portuguese, whatever, at some point was part of Brazil. Now I think they speak Spanish, I don't know exactly, but I think they speak, yeah, so Spanish pretty much, as you can see, as official language. 88% white, 60% Christianity, and almost 40% no religion. Ooh, that's pretty interesting. And let's see now the main event of the videos, how those people actually, because that's exactly, that's the most important, I would say, in my opinion. This is exactly how those people actually live, because we find in Chile they live better than a lot of Europeans, I have to say. Here with those numbers, it seems to have a good start. Low corruption, not that much population, GDP per capita pretty good. Yeah, they lack in other sectors like services in economy. The inflation, it's higher than the growing rate of the GDP, and medical system clearly not the best. But I am curious how those people actually, let's start here, let's say with the roads. Let's go right here in the middle of nowhere, pretty much, I would say, how roads are here, how well it is. Well, not so well, I have to say. This is from 2015, so just more than 10 years ago. Maybe they improve it, maybe they not, I'm not sure, but clearly from 2015 these roads does not look that well. In Chile, I think they done a much better job then. This is pretty much a border town. As you can see, they have the same let's say urban code, building code, which I'm not exactly a huge fan. Look at this, how those people, they just jam it together, and clearly you can see around the town they have a lot of space that they can improve. The same problem in South America, we're gonna see probably in every single country. Those cable, just, I have to say it, I say pretty much in any videos, there is better ways, just have to bury them and they're gonna look immediately much better. They're gonna improve how your town looks, or your city, or whatever you have here. This house actually is pretty nice. The land here, yeah, they don't have that much range, which kind of a strange region, I would say, because we're gonna see immediately in a second. We're gonna zoom out a bit to have the more context. They clearly have land around them. It's not like they live in a country that, okay, they don't have it. It's not Monaco, okay? You don't have that restriction, let's say, by the land. There I can understand. Yeah, that's a different thing. Here the road, this is 2015, by the way, and it doesn't look that bad. They have some potholes that they pretty much cover here, so they try to take care as much as they can. Those buildings, they see better days. Again, 2015. By now, unfortunately, we don't have, especially in these small towns here on the border town, the new street view, and we can actually judge how that changed. But look at this, how much land they have it, and just for some reason they choose it to just, okay, you know what, we're gonna jam everyone together because it's gotta be more efficient. It's gonna look much better. If you wanna do that, at least give it more land, and you're not gonna look that let's see, like I said, not jam it together, not that just restricted, because you have the land. I believe, like I say, it should be a minimum space of 1,000 square meters. That's absolutely the minimum. Ideal is gonna be like 5,000, 10,000, especially in the countries with huge land. And population, they can do much better, I would say. Let's check those ones. See, from above you might say it's not okay. I don't like this garbage. From above you're gonna say they're living a bit jammed, but at the ground level we're gonna say okay, they have clearly some space here, they have some improvement, but you can see they are way too close, I would say, for a country that they have that much land and not that much population. The opportunities to actually improve it, it could be better. This is 2015 again. By now probably they paved the road. Let me check. It doesn't seem from the satellite that, but I hope so at least. Okay, let's check those one because it looks okay. I don't know what's happening here, but from a satellite we have some houses. This is 2015, so probably yeah, those are new construction, or maybe they actually demolished them. Probably they demolished them. I don't know, sure exactly. Look at this, they have some foundation here. A lot of garbage. I don't like it. I don't think we saw that in Chile. Here in Uruguay things are not going that well, clearly. No paved roads. Probably they have some electric power, but I'm not gonna bet on that. Yeah, here on this border down things are not looking great. Okay, we have to move. I want to stay in one place. Let's find other. I'm glad actually we have that red line, so you can actually see where the country ends and when it starts, which is a good thing. Again, pretty old, this one from 10 years ago. Again, I suspect that things, at least I hope, improve a lot. The corruption, clearly you can see that 5 points. Things are going in a good direction, I guess. But that migration on a minus, it could tell a different story. Because even if you, let's say, reduce corruption, it might take some time to actually see those improvements. Now for 2015, those cars are not exactly brand new, let's face it. This Beetle here, I really like it. That's actually a pretty nice car, especially in Europe now, if you fix them and maintain it well. It's pretty much a historical vehicle by now. Now those apartment buildings, not a big fan again, but at least they're not that tall, which I can forget that. No paved roads here. Again, this is 2015. Maybe they improved by now, but so far it does not look that well, I have to say. Let's check this road, see how things are going here. Now this is again 2015. Here it's a bit better than we saw. Yeah, probably they don't have that much traffic, but it is better, I have to say. Let's move down to the southern country. I think the main population is going to live in the south part of the country, so that's going to be like probably where the money are getting spent, let's call it like that. Here you don't even have every single street of those actually made with the 360, but we have 360 with street view. We have some 360 here. 2019, okay, much more recently. Quality not so great, but at least we have some data. Let's go in those street views, probably again from 2015. 2015, yeah, probably that was the year when they just say, okay, we have this program with the street views in South America. I'm gonna go and make as much as we can, and then for some reason, so far at least, they never get back. Those houses again, jammed together, not a big fan. The road doesn't look that well. So even they have low corruption, and again, this is 2015. Those numbers that we saw probably are much recent with the low corruption economy. Maybe they got better now, who knows, but things are not going well here. Clearly, so what I can see so far, the Chile was much better, but that was like much more recently, those street views. But probably when I go in the south part of the country, we're gonna see those more recent one, and we can actually compare them much better. But yeah, here in 2015, 10 years ago, roads does not look that well. Cars again don't look that well. They have some motorcycle here. So I don't know exactly why they're parking on the sidewalk. They should have a dedicated parking, but I guess they can use that too. Keep in mind, there are not that many people here compared with Chile, but also the country is smaller. So yeah, I guess even the resources is gonna be smaller. I believe if you check every single one of those trees, you're gonna pretty much find the same story from the same timeline. Too close to each other. Look at this, just not that much trees, not that much green. Have some parts here with like probably like a park here or something like that. Let's check it because we have a 360, but yeah, it's a park. And this is 2019, just before the pandemic, by the way. Not so bad, but in the same place, not so great either. Okay, let's see something else. Let's see how others live. Probably in those cities. Let's check those streets, those highways, whatever they have here. Now this is 2015 again, the same year. Not that bad, but also look at this, how empty the country it is in the first place. It just you don't see that many people as we saw in Chile. But again, we are still in the northern part of the country, I would say. Again, now we're getting close to the main population actually live. I want to check this town here. Right on the beach. We can have some 360 on the beach. Yeah, we can. Let's find the beach. Let's how clean the beach it is. I like it. The quality of the 360 good. I don't find any garbage here, which is nice. This is 2016. Again, probably they improved by now. That's a Golf pickup. Don't have those in Europe, probably just from the South American market. See, you find new things every day. 2021, okay, much recent, but the quality it's also bad. Clearly very no beach, I would say, because there's a lot of people here, and it's clean, good for them. That working good for them. Let's see those street views. Probably, yeah, 2015. Well, those small towns, they tend to have a lower economy, as always in every single country. So yeah, usually you don't find, let's see, the best here. In Europe, it's a bit a different story, especially if you are part of the European Union. Those small towns, they can attract a lot of funding if you know how. Okay, those garbages, I don't like it, but at least they're all in one place, so they're not just spreading around, which is good. Oh, that's a nice car here. They have some decent cars. The same, those cables, yeah, it is what it is by now. Just I have to complain it because, you know, I have to do something here too. Same problem with building code, I would say, and how they build. Now it looks a bit better here since they have more green, but still, look at this, how much space they have, and it's a flat land. Look at this. They make this square and say that's it. Nobody outside of this square. When you just want to build more here, they're just gonna make a new road from that to there probably, and then a small one. And they're gonna sell all those pieces here probably. It's not an ideal way to build. It's pretty much, I would say, very close to an American style, which is not good. Everybody, we're gonna go in America and we're gonna see how those new construction looks, and how those, like I say, in the New England is gonna look. That's gonna look much better. Here you might say they have some lands which on the ground level you can see, but clearly it can be better. 2015, no paved roads, those cables, hate them. Houses, well, houses not so well either, I have to say. And keep in mind, this is a country that they have migration on minus. Again, one of those nonsense trash cans, I believe they are, or trash bins, whatever they, trash basket, I don't know how they call it here. Not a big fan of those. We saw that in something similar like that in Pacific countries. This house, wow, it's actually pretty nice. So some of those people actually doing well. Unfortunately, probably by now I hope they have those those roads paved, but in 2015 that wasn't the case. Yeah, they could have more land easy, I would say, because they have it, let's face it. It's not that bad, but even now I can see from above those roads are not paved, but this one from the satellite images, it looks paved, and even here in 2015, yes, it was paved. Housing, oof. In this region, not so well, I have to say. Probably the unemployment, it's higher than the average of the country. That's 7 point whatever it was, almost 8. Probably in this region it is higher. Things are not looking that well for them. Let's move to another section. Let's check those 360 here. A lot of agricultural land, so you can see that part of a big part of the economy, more than, I have to say, since I started making those videos, I think agriculture it's a bit overrated, and clearly we can see those countries who have less money, let's say, less infrastructure, less investments in agriculture, and they prioritize not even the industry, prioritize the services in the part of the economy. They seem to do better, just the way it is, I guess. I mean, like, probably in the US, I think I checked some points, it was like 1% or less than 1%. I mean, just clearly a different story there. But you have to grow it somewhere. I guess not everybody can just go for the service industry or even the industry itself. Yeah, you have to support it with. But I guess in the future we're gonna have pretty much zero agriculture. I suspect that the pharmaceutical company gonna invent a pill that's gonna pretty much give you all the nutrients or everything you need, and also we're gonna produce food in a lab that's gonna be better, cheaper, and faster, and no disease free, no problem with what we suffer, no animal kill, no nothing like that. You're gonna clear up a lot of lands just at the time when the population going down, so probably it's gonna be very cheap to have a lot of land and actually build a house on that 10,000 square meters that I'm keep saying. I like they have no fence, which is I think is no needed for one here. I'm not sure exactly how the crime rate it is, but I guess if you have houses with no fences and I don't see bars at the windows, things are not going that in a bad direction. It's not that bad. I don't think it's a paved road, this one, but maybe actually it is a paved road. Yeah, I don't see them that well. Yeah, it's a paved road, so it's not that bad. Look at this, they cleared the land here. It looks pretty nice. I like it. Look at this, it looks pretty nice. Now the houses, yeah, not so well, and again, bit closer to each other. You can fix that, let's say, with some plants here. They have more privacy, but I guess the small town here probably the same problem as any other towns. High unemployment and all the bad things that came with that. The urban style that making those squares to have those straight streets, well, it might look great on the paper on how easy to navigate them. It might work in the huge cities because they have a lot of people there, but in a small towns, I have to say I'm not a big fan. We're gonna go, I mean, we checked it already in Western Europe, in like saying Netherlands, and I think it looks better there. It just it feels a bit too, here it feels like to control, I would say, to just doesn't make sense that much to me. And they have, look at it, they have a lot of squares that are just unpopulated, and some of those people just living very close to each other, so very jammed together in those one square. Doesn't seem like a good way of building your city, your town, whatever it is. Let's check those roads. Hopefully it's gonna be better. Yeah, it's pretty decent. 2015 again, 10 years ago. Maybe they improve it again. I keep saying that probably they improve it by now, but hey, we never know. Now here, the same way of building, I would say. Those one looks a bit better, a little bit more spread out. Let me check those ones first. This is 2015. Unfortunately, every single one of those street views was made in the same year. I don't like this garbage here. I mean, just come on, like 3 million something people. Can be better. Now imagine this street without this cable. Instantly gonna look much better. Just instantly much better, and a better road here. You are pretty set. And just change those trash. Look at this, how bad it looks. Those trash cans, basket, whatever. It doesn't make any sense to me. Just change it. 45 kilometers speed limit here. Come on, you can do much better than that. The same weird pickup that I don't think we have it in Europe. It's a small house, just pretty much close to this huge one. Yeah, doesn't look that well. Road pretty good. Probably this is a stop sign. They call it pare here in Spanish. 2015 again. They have a phone. We don't have those in Europe for a while now. Bus station. Well, the bus station actually looks pretty good. They're well maintained. So education in this part of the country is pretty good, I would say. We don't have graffiti on poster on those. It tend to do pretty nice to look. Those houses here, not so bad. I kind of like this street, even we're gonna have a lot of traffic. I like those yards in front. They have big lands. That's nice. See, that's how it's supposed to be. A bit more land because you have it. You just have a lot of land here. Don't jam it everyone together. It does not make that much sense to me. Here, yeah, jam it together. Let's look at the houses. Okay, no bar on the windows, so I have to use it as a like an indic. I think like I don't know exactly how to say that. A metrics, let's call it like that, for the crime rate. Just we don't have bars on the windows. Probably things are not that bad. That's a nice house. You don't even have a fence. Pff, probably things are actually great here. Nice house, but again, look at this. Probably those people is gonna wish more land at some point. Unfortunately, you cannot go more when you have already no neighbors building around you. Now this road, pretty bad. Again, 2015. Hopefully they change it by now. They pave it a new layer, and now it's better. Those roads is gonna take a lot of tolls on your cars and how much money you spend. I prefer to have a bigger tax on the road and have impeccable roads, and because eventually I'm gonna make that money back, even actually get cheaper. I'm gonna save a lot of money in fuel first of all, then I'm gonna make save a lot of money in car repairs. So it's not always a bad thing when government just raise some taxes, but you can actually see that money works, not just gets stolen. So you have to go hand in hand with the local option. Oh, that's a nice car, and a palm tree here. Pretty good. Again, 2015. Those people not living that well. These apartment buildings, not a big fan. Now we're going close. I mean, we are in the south part of the country, so we're gonna see, let's say, much more. I would say much more. Oh, they don't cover the faces here. Much greater GDP per capita. I know it's just the numbers, but I hope that's gonna translate in actually how those people live their lives, and use it as a reliable metrics. Here, no paved roads. Somebody tried to build a house here. Look how much land they have, and just still building that close to each other. Not a big fan. That should be, again, from the government level, should improve those. I expect in the future, probably the next century, if we get really lucky here, by the half of the century, who knows, to see some new city getting built. Yeah, those garbage here, no thank you. In a different way, with bigger lands for every single one of this, more privacy, better structuring of the city, because those old ones, it kind of gets old. And like I say, going down in population in entire Western world, and especially in the European Union, once they're gonna pretty much ban all the migration outside the Western world, is gonna have some ripple effect, and it's gonna change a lot of policy and how we live, I would say. And it's not a bad thing. It has to happen. We're gonna see clearly some improvements, and I hope I can see that in my life. 2015 again, good roads. I believe I don't think it's a highway. It's pretty much like a national road or something like that. It's just one lane, one away. But I like it. See, you don't need highways everywhere. Ooh, let's see this one. They have a lot of land, but still, look at this. Just the way that build. Again, probably like an old town. An old town for me is like more than 100 years old. Ooh, look at those cars. That's a Citroen, I think. Oh, that's a Dacia, the old one. Oh, this is 2015. Have some really old cars here. The way they built back then, look at this, it's very hard to improve it, man. It's how much you can do. You don't have the land, you don't have the space. You can improve the house inside. Yeah, I get that, but you're gonna get very quick to a limit that you cannot improve your life in that part of the town, and you have to start thinking about building new towns. They have the land, build with the new construction, much more efficient, much better. There is ways to do that if they clearly want to do it. So yeah, here this housing not so well. Even if, like I said, you have the money to fix the house, or you just pretty much build a new one, you're still gonna be too close to each other, not that much land. See, not a good way to live your life, I would say. I know it's a bit hard to believe what I'm saying, but I think even King Charles of England and Wales and whatever title they have demonstrate that by building a brand new city, a town, not a city, obviously, a brand new town with a nice architecture. It is enjoyable to live there. And I think that's a great start, which is it's a great thing that he done, I think. Yeah, with those houses that close to each other, there's not much you can save unless you can have, I don't know, you pretty much buy all those land and then partition it differently, which probably is not going to happen, most likely, because you have to pay those people whatever the prices they ask, and even that probably is not going to make that much sense. Also, you have like old pipes, like sewage pipes, water, and all that stuff, and at some point even that needs to be replaced. Now we have better materials for that and better way of construction. Okay, it's not going to happen in the next 20 years. We need more than that, but we should start thinking that way, I would say. Yeah, here I have to say, I don't want to say it doesn't look great, but compared with what we saw in Chile, I like Chile more, I have to say. It's just, again, it's a bigger country, better geography, I have to say. This is pretty much what I saw, flatland. I'm sure in some part it's going to have some mountains maybe, I'm not sure, I didn't check exactly. But you know, it looks like the whole country is pretty much a flatland. Now the main city here, as we can see, pretty huge. Let's see how things are here. Again, everybody just pretty much jammed together. Let's go cut this one. Look at this, everybody just jam it together here. They barely have any trees, any green parks. They have here like a golf course or something like that. Look at this, looks much better, but it's nothing you can do to save something like this. You just have to, you always do that in human history, trying to build a new capital, a new way of living in other place, because those places they're gonna, let's say, die out with time, especially if you make it very affordable to living in those new cities and much more practical, much better. People are just gonna follow almost immediately, so they're gonna get probably gonna have at some point some discussion. We're gonna say the main cities that we consider them immortal, they start losing a lot of people, and it's not a bad thing. They choose to live in a much better place, which if they improve their life, which is most likely do, cities, towns, small towns, you're not going to have probably many of those huge cities in the future. You're going to have small towns, small communities, walkable. We're not going to use that much of the car, even though you're going to have pretty much cheap electric cars in the next 25 years. You're going to have pretty much, hopefully with some decent new policy, total independence of your resources. Like you're going to use electric power for everything. You're not going to need a gas pipe. You're not going to need all that stupid stuff. You're going to probably need some water delivery from the city, from the government, and a sewage pipe that's going to recycle that water. Very nice. Oh, that's a nice plant here. But it's going to be some minimum intervention with advocating for no tax for properties or things that you already bought or built, because you already pay a lot of taxes when you buy the materials, when you buy the label, when you buy the car in the first place. So I don't see a point taxing those people even more, just because the government cannot sustain itself with the taxes that already have, which is already pretty high. That's why those things, it might seem like the end of the world, but those things has to happen to improve the life, just the way it is. This is how human works. We're not gonna fix everything and figure it out in a one generation, in one lifetime. It doesn't work like that, but you improve it for the next generation, which is what we always did, even though it might not look like that every time. 2015, this is the suburbs of that huge city. I would say clearly big land, things are not going here that well. Again, 2015, I have to keep saying that. Hopefully they improve. Let's check this one before we go move in the big one. Again, the same problem, very close to each other, very jammed, which I don't like it. Oh, I like those beetles. Probably they have a lot of those. Who knows? Maybe they got them for cheap a long time ago, or just keep. I think it's a beetle. I'm not sure exactly now. Probably it's a mini or a beetle. I'm not sure. They I don't know, got them for cheap, or maybe they have a factory there. Volkswagen, a factory have, and then usually tends to be cheaper in those countries that they have factories. But it's a nice piece of history that everyone should have. Look at this, 683 square meters, looks like that. I still believe it's not enough. I mean, like just 1,000 square meters, even in the old way of building, should be a minimum. In the new one that we already have a lower population, even in here in Uruguay, we already start seeing the population going down. In Europe, you're gonna hit some dramatic ones, especially if they pretty much, like I say, ban the migration outside the Western world. You're gonna see some huge changes and rapid changes, most likely, much faster, because they're gonna force them to take some action, and especially with the wave of politics changing right now and more to the right one. We're gonna see better, and hopefully with some collaboration around them with every state that's going to be involved, especially in the European Union, we are going to see huge changes in a better ways of living. And I really think we should start with building new way of lives, new towns, new cities, taking advantage of those drone delivery, those technology that's gonna, let's say, unlock the next level of civilization, which it always was. I mean, just it was pretty much a fact now. When people living in a city more and more, things are not gonna go in a good way usually. And when you pretty much start living in small communities, things are much more sustainable, much better. And just because you live in a small community doesn't mean you have to stay isolated. Obviously, you're gonna have roads, you're gonna have infrastructures, you're gonna have speedy, very fast internet and all that stuff, cheaper transportation, and you're gonna improve the life of every single one. This is what I believe, and this is gonna happen no matter what. You're gonna have some bumps on the way, but eventually all roads go to that. All goes go to Rome. Here again, 2015, unfortunately for some reason they didn't go back here from 10 years ago to just make a better 360 street views. Again, I still believe things are gonna improve it. Roads, not so well, I have to say. Again, those cables here is not exactly insane one. I don't see them that much, but here it's a bit too much. A bit manageable, but still I would like to see them buried in the ground so you can actually not look at them. Again, I have to judge this country by 2015, and like I said, I keep saying hopefully they improve it a lot by now, but I'm not exactly 100% sure. Now they have some trees there, as you can see. Probably this was in October, so no leaf on those trees. You're gonna have much more light, but you're not gonna see how nice they are probably in the summer. Now those buildings are a bit old. I have to say, not exactly a South American architecture that I expected, as we saw in other regions. It looks pretty decent. You know what? There are old buildings that need to be repaired. This one doesn't look so bad, but again, they're pretty much, if you have a wall that's communicated with another house, in my opinion, that's just an apartment, a ground level apartment. It's not exactly an individual house. Things are looking like every single one of those construction, it is exactly like that. And this building right here, just look how ugly that it is. It's just horrible looking. I don't know how they approve these plans for something like that. They didn't have bars here, so yeah, I'm not sure exactly what was in their thinking. Just approve a construction like that. It looks horrible. Look at how nice this one it is, much better. Now they have some bars here, which I believe now it's a big city. Crime rate is going up. Much better looking buildings than this horrible huge one. It's just those buildings, in my opinion, have no future. Those ones, the only future that I can see, and even that very bleak. It's gonna be like, I don't know, it's a office building or something like that. But even that, at some point, people not just gonna, no thank you, doesn't look that well. I can see probably with small companies have an office building, something like this. It's gonna look much better. They have clearly some Spanish architecture that I like, those nice elements. But with new construction, you might have to integrate that too. Maybe, who knows, maybe actually making your own type of architecture, your own way of building things. I like those trees on those streets. Probably, like I say, in the summer they're gonna get all green and gonna cover the roads. It's not gonna have that high temperature here on the level, which is a very good thing. More people should do it, more cities should do it. Look at this, how it looks. Let's check those 360. Maybe you have lucky and it's in the summer. Now it's in someone else's house. It's a library here, I think. Still, look how nice it looks. That's a nice place to work. Yeah, it's in September, not exactly summer, but you see how nice that look. Here, what we can say about here. Let's check this one. What's happening here? It was something at some point, but now I think this is 2015. Or maybe, I don't know exactly who's more recent, this satellite image or this street view. If it's the street view, it looks better. If the satellite image doesn't look that well. Let's see this 360 here. Maybe it's gonna tell us a better story. This is 2017. Yeah, some garbage there, I don't like it. But it's a nice sunset. Okay, so yeah, move people in the big cities. Like I say, it's not gonna end well in the end, so we have to start building those small communities as fast as possible, especially like I said with new technologies. Give more individualist way of life to everyone, not be dependent on whatever government dictates, like we're gonna have to buy who knows, like oh, look at these old Beatles. We're gonna have to only have one choice to hit your home, or you're gonna have only one provider of one services or stuff like that. They're not in your best interest, so you can actually have some competition and lowering the prices. In the future we're gonna get there 100%, but you know, we wanna have that in our lifetime. This bus station, it does not look great at all, and those are probably the buses, which again doesn't seem to look that well. Roads pretty good. Again, this is 2015. Unfortunately, we don't have more information. Let's see those neighbors. Oh, I think they are rich ones. We see some pool there. That I don't think they're rich now. I don't have a paved roads, but the houses look pretty decent. Okay, if a non-rich neighbor looks like that, it's not that bad actually. Oh, they have paved roads now, see? So they paved them, so clearly they improved. Like I said, they improved the life here, even though we don't have a street. So yeah, the satellite image is it's newer than the street view. So yeah, they improved the life. Look at this, how it used to be, no paved roads, no, just dirt roads. Can you imagine? Now it's in, look at this, when it rains, it's not gonna be a pretty image. It does not look that well, but now having those road paved, it's a much different story. It's well different, it looks much better. And they have the beach that close to them. I have to say, yeah, the beach looks nice. I like they keep, look at this, they keep this line that they're not gonna build, not gonna be, have some more construction here, but probably like a football field or something like that. Yeah, they have a, I would like to see it bigger, but they have a here a part that they don't allow to most likely to build anything, even though they have some buildings here. Probably those can be easily demolished, so you can actually preserve, you know, the beach. Not you're gonna see in some countries, you're gonna see like a hotel pretty much right here, in the right on the sand. One big wave and you're gonna have the water in the lobby. No, they're gonna keep some nice space, which is nice. I really like it. Now this one, I don't like it. I don't know who approved this guy's house and this guy, but it's not gonna look well. Just look at this. It's just gonna have the street right there and it's gonna look much better. Those one with circles, see, looks a bit better than those straight lines, but still you need to have a much better way of building even than this. Now 2015, they have paved roads, you know that for sure. I like these front yards, look pretty nice. Those cables horrible, but it is what it is, I guess. Maybe they improved that too. Whew. No, they have still those poles, so I don't think they improved that. But yeah, maybe in the future, you know, in the next budget. Now we're moving away from that main cities and we're gonna look in this one. Ooh, those, look at this. Rich neighborhoods usually have more green. Oh, they have even paved roads here in 2015. So clearly a much richer one. Now this is September, but they should have more plants here. I want to have more privacy when you have a house like that. It looks pretty nice. I like the house. Look at it, it's very modern. But plant more plants. You want that privacy 100%. It looks nice. That's a nice. This is how the people should live. You know, a lot of green stuff. Even they don't even need a fence here. Again, more plants, more privacy. That's how I will do it. Looks better than that guy with the fence, as we saw. Those guys have pools here, so things are going pretty well for them. I have no idea who approved this from the city, but should get fired immediately. I don't care. Look at this, how monstrosity. Just pretty much destroy the lands here. Look at how nice it is, and then just boom, we have these ugly buildings rising up. Just nice houses. This one's a bit lower. I'm not sure exactly how it's gonna cope with the flood, but hopefully they have a very well thought sewage system. This one, it's an apartment building. I will approve more one of those construction than whatever is happening here in the background, and definitely this one should be banned immediately. Ooh, I like this house, see? Just a bit on the hill right there. Pretty nice. I like it. They have good roads. Here they don't even have cables here. Okay, maybe you have this one, but see how nice and clean it looks. We have no, can you imagine this one with like 13 different cables running? Much worse view. This house needs some improvement. I think it's a house. I don't know exactly. It's a Madurina, I think I don't know exactly, but this is like a house on the hill. You can see the water can go down, and then you have some sewage pipe here that's gonna collect that water. Very well system, if they have it. I don't think so, but it looks, this is better. The land, again, I still believe it should be bigger, but it's still a huge improvement. Looks much better. Probably, again, we have to say a house here or a land, whatever you can find, is gonna be expensive, because, you know, people can you imagine having only those type of properties? They're gonna get cheaper, obviously gonna get more affordable, because they want to sell it. Now, because they don't have that many and the demand is gonna be high, it makes sense that the price is gonna be high. So yeah, it's not impossible to build like this. Just I can understand that why people say it's expensive. You're never gonna have that one, because in the system that we live right now, that it is true. It is impossible to have nice things like that for everyone. Most likely, see those neighbors, this is exactly how it's supposed to be. Again, a bit more land, but maybe just me. But most of the people, probably they're gonna get a much better deal, or much more affordable deal in places like this. And you can see here, it doesn't look that well. You have a lot of small spaces, not that much green. You can see cars pretty much parked in front of the yards. You didn't have that. You have big yards, big properties that you can actually accommodate those cars. See, now they have some trees here. Let's check this one real quick. They have some of them, but not. This is pretty much the, yeah, I think it's a shopping district or whatever. Let's go for a residential one. Hopefully it's gonna be this one. I'm not sure exactly. Like I say, always go randomly on the map. I'm not choosing anything to see before, and then just show it to you only what I want you to see. Always go randomly on the map. See, a district like this, look at this, those cars, they just sit on the road here. Oh, that's actually, oh, missing a door, but that's, I think that's a nice Fiat 500, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, I don't think it's a Fiat. I'm not sure exactly. Let me check. Maybe it is. Look how those people live. See, even those have, they have bars on the windows, which is not a good sign. Yeah, much worse. No green, not that much space. Again, probably much more affordable property. Even though, look at this on the in the air. Look how those cables runs. Very ugly, very bad way of living, I would say. And then you move to those much nicer neighborhoods. What it was. Even here, I think it's better. Let's check another one. Let's check this one. You move here, and things things are a totally different story. Even this house, I think, is nice. Again, they might need a bit more spaces between them, but clearly, as you can see, it's a much better option, a much better way of living. I have no idea why they have those names in front of the house. Maybe they named their houses. Maybe it's something the city requires. It's gonna be a weird thing, but I'm not sure exactly. But clearly, you can see here a much better way of living. Even though the street is pretty much probably the same width. This car, I'm not sure exactly what it's doing here, but clearly you can see that not that many cars park. You can accommodate those cars on your property. You have much bigger land. Again, definitely it's gonna get much more expensive living like this, but it is more expensive like this because, again, the population it is high. The land that required to build those things, you still have it, but you have those old construction that was made like 50 years ago or stuff like that, and it's easy to accommodate people like that. There is also a lack of interest. There are many things, but if you show you can build like this, clearly it is possible, and you have the land in the country, you can do it too. Now the problem is to the city. I would say they should approve and encourage building like this with cheap land. The people actually can have the land and then build a house on that land. Look how nice this one is and how horrible that was. Even though they have still a problem with cables, even here, probably it's a South American, like I say, think they kind of like those cables to see them. I have no idea why. Clearly, like I say, in Europe we start burying it down, looks 10 times better because you cannot see them, again those names here, but clearly, yeah, that's the way of living. Again, it's gonna be probably, I don't think it's gonna be, who knows, maybe 10 times more expensive than the other house, but you can see that you can actually build like this, and look how land you have to build like that. So again, you're not living in Monaco, you're not like, it's not like you say we don't have the land, but again, like I said, we have to think like this. We have to start building in a different way. We have to build better for the future, and a city like this one, it could be actually, the population can be manageable to living like this in this city. This city doesn't have to die, but clearly this part of the city, even though those people, they need to realize that this is not the way of living, and most likely even with going down in population, with, like I say, some government good interference, like they just start building those small towns, people are gonna move out, they're gonna free these spaces, and then they can actually build on this space, like we saw earlier, those nice houses with big lands, because we can build it, let's face it. And by the way, we have some technology now. Hopefully in the future it's going to be better, that we can demolish those buildings, those concrete ones, and recycle the debris that they have there, making new concrete. And again, it's a great thing, I would say, to save some cost and also improve the sustainability of those projects in the future. This is how I believe it. It's like it'll be a lot of work, obviously. We're gonna have some automation, even some robotics at some point to help us with that, but we can build better, that's for sure. We just show it. Even here they have an example. This is how people should live, not this jamming together, which not a big fan here. I think it's even worse. What's happening here? Oh my god, see, this is a way of, they're trying to replicate that we saw there, but not in a good way. As you can see, they're trying to do it, but not in a great way. I believe that, look at this, you have those houses with big lands, that's a good start. Bury the cables, don't pave the road until every single house is gonna get done, because they're gonna damage the road. And after all the project on one street like this, it's ended, then pave the roads. And that should give you a good start. See, they're trying to replicate that. They have a bit more space, not that much, as you can see. It's not exactly like those, but it feels like they're trying something here. They're trying to do what we saw earlier, which again, it is a good start, a decent one. It just, again, those cables, things like those poles, probably they don't cost that much. Probably it's going to be cheaper for them than just bury them, but on the long term, it's gonna look much better just not see those cables. Clearly the houses are nice, even in this, they don't have a paved road yet, and those, I don't know, sewage type of thing, the water that they drain the water, they change the course of the water, doesn't look that well. The houses, it is pretty decent, again 2015, 10 years ago. The land, not so much, again, that's a problem. But at least they're trying to move in that direction. As you can see the difference, how much land they have here in this part. I mean, we're talking about, you got the end of the video by now, that's why we're talking so much. And in this here, okay, not exactly a huge difference, but clearly I think it's a touch more better here, and I like this house. So yeah, they're trying to replicate that as a most likely as a private level. I'm not sure exactly how much the government is involved in those projects, how much, because as a government, clearly you can give the land to those people for free. That I believe you can do, and the people just build the houses, and then yeah, you're gonna pay, let's say for the first, usually it's not the case, but they just, I don't know, they're just throwing that rate a bit more taxes for the last, the first, I don't know, 5 maybe 10 years, because you got the land for free, so you can actually pay for those cables, electricity, pipelines that they use to have all the amenities that you need. Or I'm not sure exactly where you're gonna get that funding, but it feels like this is a much better way of living than what we saw earlier. So yeah, let's move on. We stay quite a lot in that region. Let's see this one. See, it doesn't seem that bad, but also not that great. The main problem that I see here, I like those when you set that property when you have some hills, small hills, then you can actually build your house on the hill and then go down. That make a tremendous difference. Here, small properties very close to each other, it's gonna ruin the vibe, I would say. And also trying to have a good building code. I don't like those houses with multiple stores. It does not look that well. It's gonna take you much more time to build, and it's gonna be much more expensive. We should move away again, I believe, especially if you have the land. Those properties they probably start by adding multiple level of the house when they didn't have the land to build. That makes sense, but when you have the land to build, that doesn't make that much sense to me, because like I said, it's gonna take more time to build it. It's gonna get more expensive. This one, I have no idea what's happening here, but it does not look great at all. Same here, probably the bad parts, let's call it the poorest part of this region. Yeah, I think I saw, if I didn't saw the project, I would be a bit different, but we've seen that trying to move away from this type of buildings, the jamming together people, and more to something like that, like more spaces, more lands. Even here they keep this clear from the constructions. Here not so much, but here they try to, hopefully they're gonna keep it, preserve that part of the nature. Here they don't build it some, I see that's a bad way. Those constructions should never happen that close to the beach. I don't know who approved that project, but if you have the highway, the street, road right here, you can only build behind that road in that direction, not on this one. Look how bad it looks. Look how nice it looks here. See, have that much land, and now how bad that looks. It just doesn't make sense to me. And we can see even some other examples, bad ones in the distance. So yeah, not a good way of preserving the beauty of the town that you're trying to build here, I would say. Yeah, it's gonna be part of the government that, you see a small hill, how nice it is. It's gonna be part of the government that have to do those jobs, and also part of the people that building houses here choose to build in a much better way. This one again, I don't like it. It's just probably they don't have that much land, judging by those fence here, how it runs. So that's, again, see, you kind of force your hand to build upwards. Instead you should build on the same level, on the ground level. But they have to have some programs. Like I say, if you buy land from a private owner, from a private person, usually it's just a fixed one. Like I have, like, I don't know, 500 square meters or 600 square meters, something like that, and the land around them, it might not be available. Yeah, that's not gonna fix the situation here, I would say. But at the government level, when they have those, look at this one, they say, for example, now they have this huge land right here, and they're just gonna make it gonna not go with the straight streets, because that's not that well. Gonna go with a curved one, nice one, and they're gonna have those pieces of land much bigger, and they say, hey, we're gonna give you this land, you're gonna build the house, but you're gonna respect this code of the urbanization. You cannot build ugly stuff. I have to take that too. Even if you don't have the money, again, you have to provide a lot of good services in there. It's not gonna be easy again. Even if you don't have the money for that land, for the construction, the land is for free. We will give you a very low interest rate, like, I don't know, 1% or something like that. Cheap materials to be like, you're gonna build that house immediately and fast. I know we're talking about like crazy stuff here, but it's for the future, not for now. And we're trying to move people in actually nice, livable houses. And then, of course, when you have that, you say you have a house in the ugly area, you have to give up because you got the land and the low interest, but you live now in a better place, maybe actually closer to your work, closer. Once they build those, let's say, neighborhood, new small towns here, they're gonna build also the kindergartens, they're gonna build the hospitals, they're gonna have the infrastructure, they're gonna have some, at some point here in Europe, we start talking about basic income. That's also another discussion, but we have to move away from bad construction. I think that's a main problem that we're gonna have for a long time if we don't try to fix it now. Those type of constructions that close to each other, which with no privacy, don't have, say, a great future. We can start build better, and the King Charles show it. it is possible. With everyone involvement, it's gonna be a very achievable project, and you have to give some example at some point. I think that's the hardest part. Oh, that's a nice lighthouse. Give some examples to people. We achieved that. Look how nice it is. You can do it too if you stick, let's say, together, and everyone goes in the same direction. Not some crazy guy wants to build right here. This one is clearly too close to the beach, I would say. They should have this all strip, this all part here clear. Now they already built on that. See, we're gonna run into other problems. Straight streets does not look great. Even though one of how bad it is, just not so nice. Also, like I say, you only pave the roads after all the houses was finished in that region, because you're gonna have heavy trucks going on that road. It's gonna damage it pretty much immediately. Okay, then you're gonna have only light cars, and that's another part that I can work on. Even here in Europe, I would like to see a new not traffic code, a new taxation code. I would like to see another one that we have now, which is a bad one. Oh, that's a nice spot right there. Just you don't get charged by how powerful is your car. I'm not talking about getting charged about just owning the car. That should be abolished immediately. But you're using the road. Clearly, they need some maintenance. You need to pay taxes for that. But you get charged more if your car is heavier, because that's gonna damage the road, not the power of the car. Obviously, how heavy it is. We do that in let's say in the business sector for those who have the business in transportation. See, those houses doesn't look that well to me with multiple store. Have a nice one with a level store. It's gonna look, even if you have more privacy with that, you can have trees that it's gonna block the view, gonna look much better. The land here, it is not, I believe it's not that bad. Probably it's pretty decent. It could be better, but pretty decent here. But again, the way they building, see, multiple level store houses, does not set well with me, especially if you get older. You don't want to climb those stairs, just don't want to walk on those. And it's gonna be, let's say, future proof a house on the one level. And also usually they look much better, because let's face it, building a very nice multiple store house is gonna be way more expensive. Ooh, this guy, actually, look at this, they have it right where that is. Okay, they don't have, so they have the land here in 2015. It wasn't the house built here, but now they build one. Again, the land not so big. I would also see it, let's say, at least twice as big and much better manageable. But look how the land used to be before. Not so bad. I like those trees. If you can actually build a house, talk with your project manager, with architect, to save as much from the environment and not just go there and chop every single tree because you need land. Clearly, maybe they left one or two. They tried here, maybe, but that gonna end up result is gonna be much better, because in the end, I always like this, like privacy, and also it's gonna block sound, so you're not gonna hear the noise, let's say, of the road in front of you, to the neighbors, and all that stuff that we don't like it. Let's see. I don't like this cable here. You can see the land was clear, and now they just built a different house. This one a huge property. That's how they should be, every single one of those houses. Every one of those owners should have a land like this for one property. That should be the case, because look at this. You might say from the ground level, say that's huge and that's going to cost a fortune. You have the land, okay, and the population is going down. That's also an important thing, to have a really clear image how many people you need in a country. What is happening here? How many 360 they have? How many people you need in a country? How many people you can provide the best quality for them, and not just for a few. Probably this one is a private property, but someone choose to put them on the internet. It's a bit strange, but I guess it is what it is. 2018, nice European Peugeot cars, or maybe they're for rentals. Maybe they're for rentals. Yeah, I don't think they're just for the private property, but it looks nice. I mean, look at those. Clearly those are rich guys. They just, I still, one of those lands here, they're gonna be expensive, but look at this. A lot of people living like this, which is not the worst that we saw here. Clearly they just recently got built, so clearly there is a chance, but the land should be bigger. Again, government should step in. And look how much land they have. Again, population's going down. It is achievable, I would say. Not immediately, but in the future. Okay, this video is getting way too long, and we have to finish it. Let's go very quickly on the beach. Yeah, the beach, it looks nice. I didn't see garbage. I didn't see that bad stuff. I still believe Chile looks a bit better, but again, kind of sell me on the also on the land. They have a much bigger land, much more diverse. They're running from pretty much the north to the south of the almost the north of the south of the continent, compared with Uruguay, much smaller, but who knows, maybe I'm not sure exactly, because I'm now going there, more affordable. The GDP per capita seems to be very close to each other. I don't remember exactly how that was, but it seems like very close to each other. Some people doing very well here, others not so much. Population is not that big. It started going down. This town, it's on the border town. What is happening here? So one street is one country, the other street in the other country didn't have a fence or nothing, no check control, no border control, no nothing. That's interesting. See, it's like in South America, I didn't know if that. In Europe, we have that, in the West, obviously. But here, I didn't expect to see that. Hopefully, that line is actually clear. That's nice. See? We can manage to live better with each other. Now, they need some trees here, obviously. But again, and hide those cables. Some paved roads. This is 2015 again. And much more land for individual houses, I would say. And don't approve building like this. It feels sterile. I don't feel anything nice particularly about them. You can have it, like I say, building a much better way. And again, you have to improve, go cheap also with the materials, and standardize the materials in some way. Don't, like they build in US, they build from wood. Okay, that's not a good idea to build. First tornado, first fire, and you lose your house, your insurance is gonna go to the roof, and you're gonna stay probably homeless for at least a few months, if not a year or two, until the house is rebuilt. So not a good way of building, I would say. You have to build a house for at least 3 generations to at least have some structured life for at least 100 years. Then yeah, somebody is gonna, let's say your grandson or whatever, are gonna have different ideas, are gonna build differently. Even the building codes is gonna change, it's gonna improve, build better, faster, cheaper, whatever. Yeah, I think we talk more about the building code in this video than actually how those people live. But I see some improvements in some area. I can see them that trying to move away, even at an individual level at least, trying to move from those very jammed population cities. In 2015 was nothing here. Okay, maybe this house here. Let's check this one. See, the only house here, maybe another one back there, but they're trying to move away from those jammed city to the more open one close to the beach. I would like to not see construction here, but it's already too late. We lost this beach again. It's already too late. They already approved those buildings, which it should never happen, but I guess it is what it is. More land for individual level, better land, better construction, better building code, and you are gonna end up with a very nice country, I have to say. Yeah, I think that was Uruguay. Pretty nice. They have a lot of work to do in the future. I am curious. This is again, all those three street views are from 2015. In 10 years that was passed between 2015 and 2025 today, clearly they improve a lot. I am curious how that is going to be in 10 years from now. Clearly a flat country, which doesn't give you, I think, that much diversity in the landscape. Another ditch, yeah, right there. This is 2016. Yeah, hopefully it's gonna get better. I can see them trying. I want to see that infant mortality rate and death under age of 5 going way down. Population starts to going down, but not that much. Probably a population for a country like this, first stage, less than 1 million people, and see some really good improvement. But again, you need a good government, a good city council, a good building code, all that stuff. You can start with a house and then you build a way up with walkable neighborhoods with small communities, with closer to work. This working for home, not exactly future proof, let's say, not exactly that much fulfillment in that work. Those are brand new cars in 2015, I guess. Yeah, definitely can improve even that department. Universal basic income, if you have in a decentralized ways, yeah, pretty good at too. Yeah, I think we're gonna see a lot of improvement in the future, and the younger generation, like people over 30 by now, 20, 30, they're gonna want to move away from those construction as much as they can and building their own house how they want it in a good building code. Again, you don't have to build all those nonsense ones, because you're gonna pretty much give them free hands to build whatever they want. You're gonna end up with some ugly buildings and close to each other, and it's not gonna look that appealing. That's why here you need government to step in and have a decent building code in the city, and it's gonna improve a lot. Here the road doesn't look so bad, but not so great either. 2015 again. Yeah, I think we talk about a lot. So far pretty decent, not as nice as we saw in Chile. It's what it is, especially on that island. Where that island was, I don't even remember exactly. Somewhere around here, I don't remember. Yeah, it's a very tiny island. Very nice in Chile. Also pretty nice here. Small population, not that big of the land. They can improve. They can have some real low corruption. That's very important. Low corruption is extremely important. They can improve a lot. They should preserve the coastline as much as possible, because they don't have that much in the first place. And again, try to not allow everyone to build that close to it, because it's gonna end up with a ugly town city in the end. So you're not gonna like that. Even here, see, you have a big land. This one actually probably is super rich. Try to move it a bit inwards, the land, not that close to the coastline. Or maybe it's not actually a city, a house. It's something historical, maybe, not sure. But yeah, for apartment buildings, you should be banned already, all of them. I hate them. I don't like them. See, keep some land here. I don't know, keep at least 200 meters, maybe even more. I would say some cases a kilometer. That's a big extreme. But having like, I don't know, like I say, 300 meters at least, I would say it would be, and even if you walk that distance, yeah, you can have, like I say, go to the car and have a small parking lot there. Not paved, by the way, just, keep the land as clean as possible. It's gonna look much better, and everybody's gonna enjoy it. I mean, just let's face it, it's gonna look absolutely great. Yeah, can you imagine a hotel right here on the beach? It's not gonna look right. See, looks much better like this. Yeah, I guess decent job for the people in Uruguay. Nice to see it. Probably the first country in this part of the world that they have under 10 million people. I'm not checking, I'm gonna be sure I don't know exactly how Paraguay they have, Bolivia, I don't know exactly how many, but Brazil, Argentina, and Chile clearly in this region much bigger in population than Uruguay. That's why they have an advantage, I would say. You can use might not look an advantage, but you can use it as an advantage with small population. You can move faster than those with bigger population, because we don't have that many people. That's always an advantage. You can start building in a better way. You can actually make the country look amazing. You can do that, but you need a will. You need to put everyone together, low corruption, some money, economy, obviously. Again, that's why when put the people together, they have to understand they need to build better in a nicer way. And a plan like this can look amazing with, let's say, in a short time, and not even a medium time. It's gonna look better. Let's say probably in the next 25 years, we're gonna see some dramatic change here, and that could go probably just in a better way. So yeah, that was the video. Check the other videos that I have, and see you next time.